Tell me your head gasket is blown without telling me. Yep. So this thing looks like needs a head gasket. I will do a compression test and see, just to get an idea where it's blown, but the coolant is disappearing. It's blowing white smoke out of the exhaust. It runs decent though, so there's a sign that it might still be okay as far as everything else goes. And I did buy a gasket kit. When I picked this car up off the auction, there were signs of a blown head gasket. One being there was an old coolant reservoir that I guess the previous owner thought was leaking. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but that's a sign. There was a funnel, obviously for the coolant, I guess, because there's a coolant jug. Still got some coolant in it. And also, it had no keys, so once I got the keys made with the local locksmith, Buncombe County Lock and Keys, if you need anything, Brian knows what he's doing. He'll get you keys, he'll get them programmed, no problem. Same day, if you show up, he'll come out to you if you need to. But anyways, this thing's gonna need a head gasket, and I got a head gasket kit. Apparently it comes with every gasket you need. Gasket kit made in China, you know it's good. So real quick, let's go ahead and do a compression test on all 4 cylinders. I'm gonna vacuum these leaves out of the way. Oh, show. I like how someone put brand new spark plugs in here because they thought it was gonna help. So if I had to guess, it's number 2 because that was the one that was wet. Okay, cylinder 1 is a little over 90. Cylinder 2 is 70. Number 3 is about 70. Yeah, okay. A little bit over 90. Almost 100 on number 4. I did scan the codes earlier, and you know, obviously it came back with low voltage, which is very common when you buy a car off the auction. Plus it was missing a battery, so I had to jump it, this and that. So after I cleared all that, everything cleared except right rear speed sensor, but I'll get to that after I disassemble this engine and replace the head gasket. So I guess let's get it up in the air a little bit and get this done. Head gaskets and timing is not my favorite thing, but let's do it. Can't drain coolant without spilling it. Check. belt actually needs to be replaced. It's all cracked and dry rotted, so I'm just gonna cut it. That's original probably. Wow. Well, I checked oil before I made the key and it looked fine, and after I ran it today when I pulled it inside, I just checked it again. I should have checked it earlier, and look what we got. We got chocolate milk. So I'm gonna drain the oil, remove the oil pan probably, clean it up, flush it. That's not horrible, but it needs to be fixed ASAP. Chocolate milk, anyone? No? Looks delicious. So I purchased this kit, timing kit off Amazon. It's supposedly for the 1.6 turbo and non-turbo. I don't know, hopefully I got the right one, but I do see the right piece here. This is for the DTC or TDC, top dead center. And what it is it's down here on the passenger side, right by the axle. You pull a little 10mm bolt out, like so, and then you put this in place. I'm hoping I can do it without pulling the axle out. So you screw that in by hand, and then make sure you put it in all the way, and then you turn the crank clockwise. Don't turn the engine backwards. Turn it clockwise until your cylinder 1 is at the top dead center. So right now my cylinder 1 is at the very top. At this point I feel like it'd be easier just to pull the whole engine out because I'm taking so much stuff apart, it's not even funny. Check out this nest right here. Like, how does a bee or whatever bug that is decide this is a good place to build? Get the car set for a while. There we go. Sometimes you just need the right tool. Alright, so I got the valve cover off, and over here the tool fits perfectly, but this tool does not fit. It's like a tooth off or something, which is weird, but I'm gonna go ahead and, well, there he goes. Okay, now it fits. That's weird. I think it might have skipped a tooth on the belt earlier, but I don't know. Now it fits. Okay, good. The same.
That's a cool tool you have.
It's an extension, bro.
Oh.
Because these bolts are so tight.
But doesn't my tool look cool too? It's a little tool.
Let me see it.
Look, it has like this thing on there.
Yeah. Oh, that's a cool tool. That's pretty much what I have, except that's smaller.
Mine has to be bigger because it's medium size and this thing is medium size, so we can found two medium things and this can fit on here too because it's like medium thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on. What's holding it? What is holding it? Oh.
I got it out without the...
Alright, let's try again. Boom. Alright, let's take a look at this gasket here. I don't see where it was burnt. It's super thin. Look at this. It's flimsy. I don't see where it would leak, but who knows? I guess it doesn't take much. The good news is it's not like super overheated, so I'm 99.999% sure that the head is not warped. Alright, I got the block cleaned up. Everything's looking pretty good. The head is all cleaned up and everything. Everything looks like it's brand new. I opened up the gasket kit. The new gasket looks good. Everything is here. So I got the valve cover gasket and then like the exhaust gasket and some O-rings, maybe injector O-rings, probably. Some other little gasket. Well, let's see if this gasket fits. I don't have any gasket spray, so I will not be spraying it. Just gonna sand it like this. Looks good. So I keep looking at this original gasket, and I guess it just, I mean, I don't really see where it would leak, but I guess it was just so minor that I mean, the car ran, it was just burning coolant. So hopefully this is gonna fix the problem. Some new head gasket and reassembly time. Let's go. Yeah, this is definitely not a how-to video because I have no idea what I'm doing. No idea. Alright, the head's back on. I love how it turned out. It's super clean. So I just looked up the torque specs, and apparently it's 44 inch-pounds. Second round is 133 inch-pounds, and then it's 26 foot-pounds, and then another 75 degrees. So I'm just gonna, and there's a pattern, so it goes 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, which is, you know, basically just from in out, usually how it is with anything, oil pans, any kind of gaskets and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna run these down with this little impact, and then get the torque wrench out. Alright, first round. Oh my goodness. Battery. No. What a piece of shit. Alright, well, it's all assembled here and torqued down, and it's in time. And this tool fits. This tool fits flawlessly, and it's a top dead center. So it's 100% in time. The belt is tensioned. The tensioner is working. Just can't believe it's a belt. It should be a chain, but you know, it's just a 1.6. So I guess from this point I'm gonna open up the gasket kit more and see what gaskets I have. Like, hopefully there's this one here, because it looks like this one was already starting to leak for the coolant, and maybe that's a problem also. That's why maybe it overheated, because it was losing coolant through here. I'm hoping to see that gasket in the kit. Let's take a look. Yeah, so it looks like this gasket did come with the kit. These look like injector O-rings. I'm hoping they are. Get those replaced. This, I'm not sure where it goes at the moment. And this, not sure also. But these are for the intake. This is for the valve cover. And this is for the exhaust. So it's gonna be a nice engine if it runs. Stay tuned and find out if this thing starts. It ran before, so it better run again. Almost forgot to put the valve cover on. So just remember, the way you took it out is the way it needs to go back in. The same order of operation. I'm pretty impressed with this gasket kit off Amazon, honestly, and it was like 80 bucks for the complete kit. The only thing that was missing was the O-ring, which is no big deal, because the O-ring was fine. It would have just been better to replace it. But I'll have the link in the description for this gasket kit. Alright, one last thing I want to do for tonight is remove the oil pan. I already got all the bolts out, and I got it loose. Let's see how bad it looks. Wow. It's alright. I'm about to flush it all out, clean the pan real nice, and it'll be all good. I gotta say, it would have been way easier to just replace the engine, put a used one in. It would have been done deal. This is way more work. I mean, it will be a bit cheaper, I guess, this route, but the labor is like double. You know, I spent 80 bucks on the gasket kit, and then, you know, RTV, a lot of brake cleaner because everything, you know, coolant got into the oil. If this engine had a knock, I'd be putting a used one in, no doubt. But I ran out of energy and time pretty much. Plus I don't have any RTV or oil, turns out, or any more brake cleaner because I used it all up. So this is gonna have to be complete tomorrow. But everything up here is assembled. As you can see, I took the oil pan off and I want to just blast everything with brake cleaner under there. I took the pickup tube off and everything like that. I want to wash all this. I'm going to clean the oil pan really nice, clean that shield, reassemble everything, and I hope it starts. I hope this thing starts because I told my wife, I was like, if this thing doesn't run, I'm done working on cars. So it better run because I don't want to be done working on cars. You know what I mean? Good morning. So I just went shopping and bought a bunch of stuff for this vehicle here. It's a 2011 Ford Fiesta. We did change the head gasket on it last night, but turns out I didn't have any RTV, so I picked up two different ones. This is the one I always use, but then I saw this one, the right stuff, and it dries in 90 minutes, and that's what I want. I want something to dry really quick so I could get this thing started in the next hour or so. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. I also picked up a battery. Remember, on these Ford Focus and Fiesta, voltage is key to keeping the car alive, because if the battery is weak, or you have to jump start it, or you know, it's just a bad battery overall, it will kill your modules. The first one to go is gonna be the TCM. What's up? So make sure your battery's all good. I got some oil, I got a filter, I got some wiper blades and some coolant, some brake cleaner. So I think I have everything right now to complete this car. So I'm gonna go ahead and blast everything with brake cleaner from underneath, and then put the pan on, let that dry while I do everything else. Put the battery in, put the wipers back on and everything like that, put the headlights back in. Okay, so I got the pickup tube and everything back in place underneath. Got the oil pan RTV on, and as you can see, last night before I went to bed, I was like, man, there's like a crack in the bottom of the oil pan, and it looks like somebody tried to patch it from the outside, and it wasn't leaking, but since I had the pan down, I went ahead and put some JB Weld from the inside, and it has cured overnight. So it didn't leak, and I know it's not gonna leak for sure anymore. The pan's going back in. Also picked up a new belt. There's a part number, only one they had in stock, and it's not cheap because these cars don't have a tensioner, so you have to ride it on there like a bicycle chain. Alright, it's time to pour some oil in. Again, Motorcraft 5W20 synthetic blend. That's what comes in these cars originally. I did replace the filter, the oil filter, with Motorcraft as well. And since this engine's completely dry, I'm putting the whole 5 quarts in. I don't care. Just gonna send it. So the level's showing a bit over max, but the filter's dry, the whole system's dry, so it's gonna be perfect level. And as you can see, I didn't put the spark plugs in yet because I want to give it a few cranks without the spark. And I mean, you can always put the pedal to the floor and crank it, but this is easier on the engine since there's no compression without the spark plugs. So at this point, I'm good to connect the battery. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and crank it about 5 times or so. Let that oil go through the engine and stuff like that. Get that oil pressure moving. Okay, that should be good. I don't want to stress the starter out too much, and I'm gonna throw those spark plugs back in. We're gonna crank it and see how it does. All right, the spark plugs are in. This is the moment I've been waiting for. I could barely sleep because I don't know if this thing's gonna run. You know, it ran before, but it smoked because of the coolant going in. But right now, this is the first official start. Fingers crossed, please start. All right. It's ticking because it's completely dry, so I'm just gonna let it idle. And it's clearing up already. Oh, I gotta put some coolant in. Still smoking, but that's just from before. It's just gonna have to run for a minute, so I'm gonna go ahead and lower it, put it back on the ground, and take it outside and let it idle for an hour or so probably, or whatever. But it's already running smooth. It's only been like a minute. It's already running smooth, nothing smoking. Brand new belt is spinning, coolant is good. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on the coolant so it doesn't drop. But all new gaskets, new battery, new belts, fresh fluids. Like, somebody's gonna have a really nice car. And this thing is a 2012 with only 100,000 miles on it. So if you take care of these cars, like, this thing will last forever. Well, she runs and drives great. She's been running for like an hour now, and I took it up and down the street with no headlights. Actually took care of the traction lights and stuff like that. It was the right rear speed sensor was broken off completely, so I swapped that out. I had one on the parts car. TPMS light is on because these wheels are not from this car, so I'll have to reactivate, and just needs to be cleaned up real nice. And the smoke is almost gone completely. Just needs to be driven more. Hit like and subscribe for more later.